Welcome in, Aquarius. It's Ruby with Ruby's Lighthouse Tarot. I hope everybody's doing great. Thank you so much for being here. All right, so Aquarius, this reading is going to be for you for twin flame. You can watch this for your divine feminine or your divine masculine. Everybody's welcome. You can cross watch if you want. This energy is going to be vice versa and interchangeable. And also remember the timing is fluid, okay? So Aquarius, this is going to be for May 2025. Let's see what we get. First of all, though, I did want to say what I got for you before I started was this image of a maid. It was like an old-timey maid. You know, one that had the little black dress on, and it doesn't matter, gender doesn't matter. Black dress on with the little white overlay, like the little lacy white type overlay. It wasn't meant to look sexy or anything, because I know somebody is immediately thinking that. What I'm talking about, though, is someone who's actually has an old-timey maid uniform on. And the image I got was them trying to scrub this white shirt, and it had this very obvious stain all over the front of it. And this maid was just going at it, like trying to get this stain off. And it just wasn't coming off. It wasn't coming off no matter what she did. Okay. So there's something about that for you guys. I'm going to get more, obviously. I'm going to start pulling cards here in a minute. But I just wanted to give you a little bit before we started. It's like no matter how much she scrubbed, she could not get the stain off. All right, so I'm going to use some of these. I think it's called a vibe about it or something like that, but it's like it's about to pop off. All right, so this is what we got. Sticky life, moral dilemma, clinging to the past, emotional detachment, and entangled circumstances. So these have meanings on both sides of the card, okay? So take what resonates. Clinging on to the past, entangled circumstances. And then the other one that came out was offbeat, alienated for beliefs, feeling disconnected, awkwardness and unease, unreliable and unpredictable. Okay? All right. I'm feeling like there's a moral dilemma here with you and your divine masculine. I feel like there's definitely entangled circumstances between the two of you guys. It's like things that are between you that you feel like you can't really control what those things are. It's like entanglements. So there's this awkwardness, there's this unease between the two of you guys right now. It doesn't feel predictable. It doesn't feel reliable between both of you. And I feel like this person is, or you in different ways, are trying to remove some sort of stain. Something that's clinging on to your lives. And these cards here. I am noticing both of these have sunglasses in both of the pictures, okay? Something sticky, a sticky situation, something about like deciding to step out of the illusion. All right. So needing to stay grounded in truth, embracing reality with clarity and wisdom to navigate life's journey authentically. Okay. So I think that somebody was in fantasy land because that's what the other side says here, and they're pointing me to that. Somebody was in fantasy land. They were in illusion. Yep, crystal of clarity is here in the underneath energy. Okay, so you or your divine masculine, or one of you or both of you, are seeing things very clearly. It's just becoming abundantly clear. Something in your life is stained. What is stained? Get more for you, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Crosswatcher. And anyone is here who is here for the future title that I don't know yet. Entangled in an illusion, entangled in fantasy land. Thank you. False flame. Look at the glasses immediately. See those glasses? They're basically the same. Also wearing blue. Color blue could be relevant here. So something that was false, something that was fantasy. You can't fix what you refuse to see. Okay, so I just got that. So this false flame causes you to feel emotional distress and creates conflicts, or for your divine masculine. So you gave more than they gave you. They do not help you grow and make you feel uncomfortable around them. So this is either you with your twin, and this is not really your twin flame, but you kind of viewed them as being your twin flame, or they're involved in something else, or you're involved in something else that's not real, that is based off of an illusion. Okay? Wordless. Okay? So again, there's some sort of, I always see this card as being very much a surprise type energy. Words are jumbled, or words were left unsaid, unable to speak up, or unwilling to say the truth. Yeah, what you can't fix what you don't acknowledge, what you don't say, right? So it's someone who's realizing that something was false. They're having this clarity. It's coming in as like this surprise type element that this was actually an illusion. Okay? Alienated, feeling disconnected, awkward and unease. And I'm feeling again, I saw emotional attachment, but then I just like heard emotional detachment. So there's some sort of detachment now. All right, how is this divine masculine showing up? No matter how much you scrub, the stain can't come off. It's like just this clarity of realizing it. There's no way to fix something that is just not meant for you. How is this divine masculine showing up? Okay. Civil servant, we got that again. Somebody who is there for the public good, guardian of the public good. But look, they're feeling homeless. So they're recognizing that they're feeling homeless in this situation. They cannot see past the reality of this fantasy that they're recognizing now. Something that they thought was their home is not really their home. Their home actually lies somewhere else. All right. Yeah, and they're seeking enlightenment now. I just heard rose-colored glasses. How is divine feminine showing up? Divine feminine, please. Interesting. I got this in, I think, Capricorn or Sagittarius's reading. So again, we have glasses, but these are the other type of glasses. This is Neo in the Matrix. You say things as they really are. I feel like you knew, and I just put that under crystal of clarity. I think that this is the divine masculine, or you can switch the roles, right? But I think this might be your divine masculine who was thinking that they were working towards something positive in their life that had nothing to do with you. It was like for the greater good of the people that were around them. Maybe it was a job. Maybe it was, this false flame is here. So it could be someone who they thought was like their soulmate or something like that. And you saw that they were clinging to the past. You saw that they were entangled in something that was not good for them, right? And you may have told them. You may or may not have told them with that crystal of clarity. that, because you're not someone who lives in illusion. And you've probably been through a lot of these types of circumstances and these sort of similar situations in your own life, where you currently are, because twin flames can mirror each other. But it created this awkwardness and unease between you when you told them your truth. You might have actually really upset them, because it's like being told that about somebody in your life. That's not exactly the sort of information that one usually wants to hear, or sometimes is ready to hear, even if it is the truth. So you told them your truth, and it's like, I was thinking I was doing this for the good of all, and really I'm homeless. Really, I don't have a home here. This is stained. This is not real. I can't clean this white shirt. It's dirty, right? Okay. They're processing this, yeah. So it's causing a really big sort of transformation within the relationship with you guys, right? Because everything impacts everything else. So they're feeling disconnected, awkward, can be awkward between both of you too. But yeah, they're processing this, okay? They're processing this right now. Something that was false, something that they were giving to may or may not have been reciprocal, may or may not have been real, may or may not have been something they should have been giving to. Yeah, and they know it, and you knew all of that all along. It's always easier, Spirit's saying, it's always easier to see things from an outside perspective though. You know, often you'll have, like, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but like to me, sometimes my friends will be like, well, have you ever thought about this being the reality that you're living in right now? And I'm like, no, it's not. That's not the reality I'm living in. And then come to find out they were right, because they care about you and they just want your best interest. Then they're going to tell you the truth. And I think, Divine Feminine, you did care about this person's best interest. You did want to tell them the truth, and it was very clear to you that shirt was completely stained and dirty, right? It was completely dirty. There was no fixing what they were dealing with. But you know how hard it is sometimes to detach from something that you've done for a long time. When it comes to like codependency, or just feeling attached to a person in general. It's not just being attached to the specific person, but it's also about the life that is attached to that. So maybe at work, like, you really enjoy working with the clients that you work with, right? Or you're a teacher, and maybe you're not getting paid what you deserve, and you're the one having to do all this extra stuff and not get paid for it, right? And someone's telling you the truth about it, and you just don't want to accept the reality because you love the students that are in your class. So people do stay for different reasons, right? 8 of Swords in reverse, High Priestess. It's like there's this knowing that something needs to change. Because the High Priestess is trusting your intuition, is knowing with your soul the answers, right? Sometimes you keep those answers to yourself. You don't really share that information because it can be related to mystery. But there's no illusion within this person anymore. You have gifts. You have an exceptional ability in some way as well, Divine Feminine. You're able to see through things. Yes, to what I just said. Okay. Ace of Wands. It's time for a new beginning. It's time for a new beginning, a new match, a new start, right? Can you tell me what this Ace of Wands is about, please, for Aquarius? It's about the 10 of Cups. So it's about, okay, this is, right? When this is in the reverse, it's fantasy land, right? Right? When this is in the upright, this is no illusions, the real thing, right? No illusions. So the real thing is what you want. The real thing is what both of you want. The good of all, happiness for everyone. Everyone equally participating, equally being a part of something. Something that you are creating together. And I think that that's what you both want as well. All right. Yeah, wanting to create and build together, right? What's in their headspace right now, Aquarius? It's a moral dilemma, though, because I think that they are still clinging to the past at this time. I think they feel entangled in it. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing right here. It's like entwining them. They are feeling tied to this. Something that they feel like they can't get out of, perhaps. What's in their headspace right now for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus? What's in Aquarius's headspace right now? Or their person? Two of Cups, King of Cups. The most amount of love you can ask for in the tarot, right? This partnership. Whenever I see the Two of Cups, I always think Team Awesome. That's what you and your divine masculine are together. This person really does want to express their feelings. They're thinking about how can they express what you mean to them? How can I express this? How can I express like how much you mean? Okay. Let me scoot that over here. What's going on in their heart space? Tethered. Ooh, okay. I'm hearing they could be being clung to. So someone else could be clinging on to them. We'll see. They could be clinging on to what they believed something was before, and they're just really having to accept that. The reality is, with their knowing that this is not healthy for them, this is something that could be manipulative. There could be other things going on, and that this cycle here needs to come to an end with that. What's in the heart space, please, for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus? And this person has not told you anything yet. They have been unable to speak or unwilling to speak the truth. All right. King of Wands. All right, so there's very heavy Leo here, Aries, Leo, Sag, but this is Leo with the Strength card. They really want to come towards you. They want to take action towards you. They want to be a leader. They want to be a king. But this is the card of the king who takes action, right? What else fell with it? Five of Wands. Yeah, this is backbiting energy here. This is conflict and competition. It's kind of like he wants to get in there with his wand. Okay. All right, so they do want to take a stand here. They do want to fight for this. They do want to fight for you. They're feeling that right now. Intentions for the next 30 to 60 days here. Yeah, here we go. So that's the Page of Wands, taking a new path, sending messages. And he's gripping onto that Ace of Wands here to go on the path to happiness, right? Okay, so tell me a little bit more. Tell me a little bit more. They want me to go into more of the false flame stuff, so I'll do that in a minute. Tell me a little bit more about this Page of Wands, please. Moon, Eight of Wands, super emotional about taking this chance. They feel trepidation is a word I just got here. Super nervous about this. And now they're showing me the waterfall here where it's just pouring down the mountain. They feel like they're going to be carried away with it. If you imagine it coming down the mountain here, it's like they feel like something is going to come up behind them and push them out. Okay. Yeah, super, super nervous. That's right, underneath. Yeah, this truth. They're nervous about telling you the truth. They're nervous about this conversation. They're nervous about saying that they want to have this conversation even. A lot of anxiety here. Okay. Super, super anxious. All right. So can you tell me just a little bit more about this false flame here? Because I do think it's relevant. It's about them choosing the true path. Okay. All right. Five of Pentacles, Temperance, and Two of Wands. This is literally a path. Thank you, Spirit. So something's going to have to transmute here. Going from the dark to the light, choosing a new path. The thing with the Five of Pentacles usually is they're showing me the home. Okay. So right now they feel homeless, right? But there's depictions of the Five of Pentacles where there's a crutch there waiting for the person inside this warm church. But here, you know, it's represented by a cabin or a home, right? The door's open. There's like fresh baked cookies smell coming out this door, right? If only he would turn his face just a little bit. See how it's turned away from the person looking at him? If only he would turn his face just a little bit about this decision and see that if you go inside this cabin, there's a lot of warmth. There's some fresh baked chocolate chip cookies inside. There's a fire going. There's a soup cooking, right? There's all sorts of goodness waiting to happen. And Spirit is actually supporting this person to make this decision. But it's like they're leaning down here. They're laying here. Usually with the Two of Wands, you know, the person's standing up and they're contemplating which path to take. This person is kind of dreaming, more fantasy, more of that moon energy because of that fear. They're still sitting in that fear. And Archangel Michael with the Temperance card is saying, I'm going to help you see what is right in front of you here that you can turn towards should you choose to. But it's going to require a change that is up to you, right? So Spirit is involved. There's so much fear that is keeping this person. It's keeping this, something about this other thing. It's going to be different for everybody. It's keeping this person wordless. What is Archangel Michael helping this person transmute, please, Spirit? Okay, we know it's fantasy. Sorry. Justice, Queen of Swords. Okay, so something needs to be made right here. Something needs to be made right here with this other situation. It is not over yet. So there's something yet to be done to close this chapter, to make something right before they can move on with the new path. And I feel like they're kind of putting it off, if I'm being honest with you. All right, so let's get the after tarot going and get some actions and advice. I feel like there's just so much contemplation happening here. Actions and advice. Yeah. They're looking in this cup, right? And they're like, these are spilled, right? This is actually the Eight of Cups, and this is about walking away from something that's no longer fulfilling to you. Maybe it was at some point. Maybe you thought that it was, you know, that it was at some point. But you go from the Eight of Cups to the Nine of Cups. You're walking towards your wish fulfillment of a new beginning. It's right there. That's what I was talking about. This is the warm chocolate chip cookies and cocoa. Okay? It requires them to take the action, though. Archangel Michael is just standing there. Like, here, I will help you stay balanced. I will support you through this. I'm here if you want to pray to me or to talk to me or ask for assistance or ask me to show you something. 30 to 60 days here for Aquarius. 30 to 60 days for Aquarius. Thank you. All right, I got to cover up some nakedness. The Lovers. There's the choice. And there's Archangel Michael, or some say Gabriel, right there, right? It's all about the choice. Am I going to go after what I want, right? Who am I going to choose? Am I going to choose my head or my heart? And this is about releasing, okay? So what else here? Oh, I had another one fall. Yeah, King of Swords. So we remember we saw this Queen of Swords here. This is usually a divorced couple, okay? This is the only couple in the tarot that I think is divorced. There's not usually a romantic spark here anymore. They're not even looking in the same direction. Well, they are looking in the same direction. It's just not towards each other, right? That clarity is there. That decision needs to be made. And the conversation needs to be made. Again, as I put these down, look what I'm seeing. So this is one of two things. You don't see this person getting ready to come towards you. You see this bird here getting ready to fly over. It might be a falcon. Looks like something like that, right? You don't see it coming. But this could also be those two, again, not facing each other. The truth. Okay? All right, let's get some messages here. It's a very interesting reading. The stain is not coming out. Like sometimes you just have to cut the shirt up for rags and use it for cleaning, right? Or use it for when you're just, mowing your lawn or something. But it's not going to be that fresh white shirt that you once thought that it was, right? It just is. Cutting out the illusions. Despite the distance, I feel like our souls still remain intertwined. Okay, so back to you guys, right? There is this distance that was created here, but they do still want to have this new beginning. This choice is happening because there's a recognition of that your souls are indeed intertwined. And there's an understanding with that, right? What else? What else? I am learning a spiritual lesson. Okay, because you did try to tell them. You tried to tell them what this was. You tried to show them because you saw right through this whole thing. And their lesson is in their pride. Because even when you told them, they knew that it was true. They knew that it was coming from a loving place. But their ego did not want them to believe it, did not want them to accept it, did not want to be told by someone else something that was true. They weren't looking to seek this clarity out on their own. And in fact, some of them with that Five of Swords energy we were seeing, they were like, how dare you? They really got frustrated and upset with you, possibly. And they were like, I'm going to make this work. This is perfect. I'm going to make this work. I'm not going to say anything. And slowly this false flame revealed itself to this person. And every single layer that came, I'm seeing like layers coming up off of this. And they kept staying in denial here. They kept trying to fix something that could not be fixed. The stain was not going to come out, right? But they kept trying to. They kept trying to turn it into something that it was never going to be because the time was over for this to end, right? The lessons have been learned. There was a lot of conflicts. Then there was more conflicts that came and more conflicts that came. And they ended up in the homeless energy. Once they began to truly realize that this actually was a false flame, that you had actually been right all along, that they should have trusted you and that you were the real deal and that the other thing was fantasy. So they want the real thing now, and it's going to be up to you on if that's what you want to give back. All right. So that's what I have for you, Aquarius. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please check out my private readings. They're in the description box. I have both live and pre-recorded based off of your schedule and your payment preference and all of that. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your donations, for the few of you that have done that for me. I really appreciate it. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.
So I'll rest within the silence, your presence my disguise. For in the dark there's always